Montana. But more importantly, I'd like to introduce you guys to the whales we'll be doing today's presentation. Joining me out here, we have Orkid, Keet, and Kalia. Let's go ahead and take a sneak peek into what goes on here at Orca Encounter every day. Starting off, we're going to get to meet 3 out of our 8 killer whales.
Is making sure that no 2 days are exactly alike. The best way that we can ensure this type of variability,
from left to right, we have Keet, Kalia, and Orkid. Why don't you guys give them a big wave? They can see you, and they're going to give you guys a big wave back. Now we interact with our whales in a variety of different ways here at SeaWorld every day. We're going to do a fun playtime with the whales down here at the glass while we show you guys all the different types of sessions we do here at SeaWorld every day.
One of the most important parts of our job is making sure that no 2 days are exactly alike for our killer whales. The best way that we can ensure this type of variability is by utilizing an acronym called HELPERS. Each of the letters inside of HELPERS represents a different type of session that we can do with the whales. For example, H stands for husbandry. Now husbandry is arguably the most important letter in HELPERS because it revolves around the animal's health care and well-being. Through positive reinforcement, we can ask a variety of different behaviors to maintain their health care. For example, we can do a full body examination, get their body temperature, and even clean their teeth, which we do 2 times every single day. Exercise is just as important for our killer whales as it is for you and I to stay physically fit. All of those incredible high-energy behaviors that you see in our Orca Encounter presentations, for example, are actually all really important to help keep our whales physically fit. All of those bows, spy hopping, tail whipping, and porpoising behaviors that you see all aid in the physical shape of our killer whales. Learning sessions are my personal favorite because this is where we get to actively engage and train all of the amazing behaviors that you see in all of our different types of presentations. These animals are highly intelligent and not only need physical stimulation, but lots of mental stimulation as well. Every interaction with our whales is an opportunity for them to learn something new, and it's up to us to keep their brains active and stimulated throughout the day. Play and enrichment go hand in hand. It can not only be reinforcing for our whales, but also for us as their trainers. This is a great way for us to build that relationship and have lots of fun together. Playtime sessions can involve giant whale-sized toys, novel enrichment, and even live fish that we can put into their habitat for the whales to enjoy. Relay sessions are one-on-one personal time and moments between whales and their trainers. Relay sessions can look different for each whale and every trainer. Spending quality time with our whales is a great way to build a trusting relationship and provide world-class care to our family of killer whales. Finally, the S stands for scientific research studies. Several of our animals have been active participants in many different research studies that have aided their wild counterparts out in the open ocean. The whales are currently participating in cardiovascular studies, a lung health study, as well as a hearing study that focuses on reducing noise pollution out in the open ocean. Not only are these studies great for conservation, but are great cognitive challenges for the animals. The HELPERS acronym allows us to make sure that every day is fun and different for our amazing family of killer whales.
Now that we've learned about all the different types of sessions we do here at SeaWorld every day, we're going to give you guys an inside look into a husbandry or healthcare session. Now the killer whales, they don't speak English, so they can't tell us when something's wrong, so it's always very important. We're always observing the animals, knowing what's wrong with them, and taking a bunch of different samples so we can always check to make sure they're nice and healthy. One of those samples is a urine sample. Yes, you heard that right. We're going to ask the whales to pee in a cup. Just like when you guys go to the doctor's office. Orca's going to come on up here. We're going to show her this cup. She's going to know to pee in it, so you guys over here on the left-hand side will have an awesome view. You guys can watch the screen as well. There we go. Very nice. all these different samples. Killer whales actually don't drink anything, which is a weird concept to think about. They live in salt water, it looks like they're swimming in blue Gatorade, but they don't drink anything. So for the kids, you can kind of think about the killer whales like sucking the water out of the fish or the prey that they eat. So they get all the hydration from the things that they're eating, including the fish. Now getting the urine sample, also fecal samples are really important in maintaining the overall health of our killer whales. Now, we are going to ask Orkid for a temperature. So basically when you go to the doctor's office, they're going to take all these different samples, same thing for our whales. So all of these things are completely voluntary. Killer whales are mammals, which means they're warm-blooded just like us. Now, I want you guys to shout out, even if you're in the far sections, what do you guys think a killer whale's temperature is? 98.6, that's pretty close. Does anyone think they can go closer? 100? We're moving in the wrong direction. They're actually a little bit colder than we are. So getting that temperature, we're going to go ahead and stick it right in their butt. And we're going to go ahead and look on the monitor. Sam, can you show the computer? There we go. It's climbing. It's climbing. Orkid runs about 96 even some days. So we'll see how close I can make our guest today. Getting closer. Now, the change in temperature of the whales, take their temperature about once a week, even every single day. Just like you and me, if we get a fever, that usually means we're getting sick. Same thing with the whales. So a temperature can be a great indicator in case the whales have a fever. So our face might turn red, but the whales, their face doesn't turn red, so we need another way to get their temperature, which is why we're doing this. Now, one of our veterinarians here at SeaWorld actually did a study. So we took the whale's temperature just like this, and then we compared it to the temperature of their blowhole. So when they took a deep breath, we used a thermogram, which is basically a handheld thermometer, and we looked down their blowhole and got their internal temperature. This is important for wild killer whales because we can attach a thermogram to a drone and fly it over wild killer whales. So when they come up and take a breath about every 10 minutes, we can look down their blowhole of wild killer whales and know their temperature. So if a wild killer whale is swimming, we fly the drone over, we can take a look and see if that whale has a fever or not, which is really cool. So we're able to find our average temperatures of our whales here, and then our average temperatures of wild killer whales. So it's really cool to be able to use these guys as a scientific control group. Now, husbandry or healthcare behaviors are one of the most important things to maintain their overall health. But how do we train the whales to pee in a cup, you might ask? This is all done through our Learn sessions. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our video showing us what Learn sessions are all about. One of the most common questions we get asked here at Orca Encounter is, how do you train a killer whale? Well, here at SeaWorld, we're using positive reinforcement training techniques to shape and train behaviors. What that looks like is we're always asking the whales a question, and they can say yes or no. So all of our presentations and sessions are entirely voluntary. Almost all the behaviors you'll see today are created by the whales themselves. We then add a hand signal to have the whales do that specific behavior when asked. Each hand signal correlates to one specific behavior. For example, when training the whales a jump, or what we call a bow, the hand signal for that behavior is a check mark across our body, looking like this. When we first begin training that behavior, we have the whales touch the end of their face, hold their rock. We then have the target pull higher and higher out of the water until eventually all they need is the hand signal. Check it out! Now we're going to watch a Learn session in person. We're going to watch two different behaviors. So, for these two different behaviors, everyone in our lower section, this is your come out and splash everyone on our right-hand side. During our presentations, you guys might see the whale splash. This is one of our natural behaviors we always see the whales doing, so he's going to go ahead and get that out of our section away. During our presentation, this behavior is known as splashes. Now, when we want Keet to do that, we are going to ask him to splash over there. And he did just that, so he's going to go on up to the back. Now, today is actually opposite day, so the whales know an opposite behavior. Orkid is working on this because instead of going to that section over there, we want her to go to the opposite side of the stadium. So I want her to splash all the way over there. So here she comes, and she's going to splash that section because today is the opposite day behavior, so this is known as the shoo-shoo away concept. So everyone on our left-hand side of the stadium, watch out everybody. Oh, you guys got saved today. So this is what we call an early bridge. So Orkid did an amazing thing. She went exactly to where Kayla tapped that target pole instead of starting right over here. So Taryn said, great job. That's exactly what I'm looking for because Orkid already had that idea, hey, I need to go straight there, and she went over there with a great attitude. So Taryn said, great job, come on back and get a reward. And I think we're going to try it again. Let's see if we get it to completion. Now Orkid kind of knows those little baby steps we're working towards, so she's going to come right on over here. She's looking for Kayla already, and then let's see if she can add that splash in as well. The water is about 12 degrees Celsius today, for anyone wondering. And they aren't wondering anymore, they just found out. Very nice! So my friend Blake on stage is holding that big yellow boat with Orkid's head underwater, and she's about 80 feet away. It'd be really hard for her to hear this whistle, which means good job. So instead, my friend Blake on stage is holding a tone box, and he's pressing that little button on there, which tells Orkid good job. So we have an underwater sound system, so while she's over here 80 feet away, she probably can't hear that. But Blake will hit that button to let her know good job underwater. Go on back. Alright, here she comes again, guys. If you're over here on the left-hand side, she's headed straight for you. Different things. She is really good at putting together concepts and putting multiple behaviors together. So let's go ahead and give a big round of applause for Orkid. Next, we're going to bring in Kalia. Now, Kalia is just turned 20 years old, and she was the first, some of the first killer whales ever born here at SeaWorld San Diego. She just had a birthday in December. For this one, this is a high energy aerial behavior, and I've been working this behavior for a little over a year now, just because it's kind of complex and requires a lot of energy. So, Kalia is on our left-hand side. She's asked to do a jump, and she's going to do a left side of the stadium jump right over here. Here she comes in 3, 2, and 1. Now, just one jump by itself is easy peasy for these guys. She is 5,000 pounds, she is so strong, so athletic, that 1 or 2 jumps is a piece of cake for her. It's basically the equivalent of 1 push-up. Now, we want these guys to be in really good shape, both physically and mentally. So, for Kalia to get exercise, you guys don't go to the gym and just do 1 push-up and then call it a day. Same same thing for our whales. We want Kalia to do multiple jumps in a row, really get her heart rate up and get that exercise going. So we're going to ask her to do multiple jumps over here. So first, this behavior started with just one jump. Now, my friend Sam is going to ask her to keep going different directions. Perfect, she's going to call her back, ask her to go the opposite direction. She's got it, she's going to call her back, ask her the opposite direction. Very nice, Kalia. So that's how that behavior started, of just getting her going that different direction. Because we call this behavior infinity bows. And this means two reasons. So, infinity bows, I want her to keep bowing or jumping for infinity. But I also wanted to make it look like an infinity sign. So she's going to come on back to Sam. And then we're going to ask her to do as many jumps as she can right in front of Sam. And we'll go ahead and count it down. Now this behavior has been really cool to see to completion. And Orkid is going to give you guys a look at what the final product should be. Now Orkid is so smart, she's a super smart lady. She knows to jump over the sprayers. So conceptually, I can ask her to do infinity jumps only over the sprayers. Here she comes again. That's two. Here we get a third one. She said no thank you. But that's what the final product should look like. So it took almost about a little over a year to get Kalia to the point where she's at, just because it's such a complex, high energy behavior. Now, I want you guys to give a big round of applause for both Kalia and Orkid, but we're not done yet. So we've talked about play, we've talked about healthcare, we've talked about learn. Now we're going to talk about extra exercise. So, we are going to bring all three whales out here. Exercise is a great way to keep our whales physically stimulated. For you guys, it's going to be a really cool session and time to see some extra incredible killer whale behavior. Take it away! them.